What's going on, guys and gals? This is AutoTech, and welcome back for another video on this Tiger 800 XCA. We've got the plastics all removed, and today we're going to be removing the fuel tank. Now, to remove the fuel tank, that's important if you're doing your air filter or if you're doing your valve adjust. The fuel tank is actually pretty straightforward from here. There's a little bit of a trick I can show you just for helping with unhooking the connectors and whatnot. The only tool you're going to need from there is a 6mm Allen and probably a little bit of an extension. You've got one bolt on each side of the tank. So go ahead, get those removed. You're going to find as the bolts get to the very end, the tank wants to drop. If you just lightly hold up on the back of the tank, it'll make removing the bolt a lot easier. You're not going to damage the threads. This is where you're going to wish you had a slightly empty tank. Either way, even a full tank isn't that heavy. Let's go ahead and get those bolts out. Okay, so once you get those two bolts out, just grab the tank, lift up slightly like this. You'll have these two lines coming off of your evap system, and they do just pull right out, no problem. All right, so when you remove these hoses, before you go and tuck them out of the way, just mark them right and left. You can tell which one is the bigger one and which one is the smaller one, but just because you're going to be folding the lines back, you're going to be removing stuff, they can get crisscrossed. So just lightly mark them, or even use some permanent marker and just do the one. Either way, identify these hoses. All right, so unfortunately I can't get a very good view of it, but you'll notice up at the front of the tank that there's a couple of supports and a couple of fingers that are holding onto it. Lightly slide the tank back and hook those on top. And now you can come underneath it and you've got all sorts of room for activities. So go ahead, get your connector undone, and then for this fuel line, or no, we'll do the other connector first. All right, so now for this fuel line, all you do is pop this orange tab up. All right, it's already up, that's good. And then squeeze in the two sides. All right, so gently working that back and forth, just like that. You will get a little bit of fuel out, but if the bike's been sitting, it's not going to spray at you, so don't worry about it. Just don't have a cigarette hanging out of your mouth. Now we can come around to here, get a good grip on the tank, slowly walk away with it. There you go, the tank is off. So now that you've got your fuel tank removed, you'll be able to move on to whether or not you're replacing the air filter or you're going a whole lot further to do the valve adjust. I hope that this video helped you out. When it comes time for reinstalling the tank, make sure you use a little dab of blue Loctite. Make sure your electrical connectors are seated, that the safety clip on your fuel line is clipped, and torque those bolts to 25 Newton meters. And yeah, don't worry about if after you start up the bike it's not reading properly. Once you get to like the end of your street, your fuel gauge will be reading properly. If you're new to this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for taking the time and watching.